What's up, my people? Welcome back to Vertical Football. Welcome back to another episode of the 5 Things We Learned. Manchester United 4, Brighton Hove Albion 2. Guys, amazing game. A lot of good moments, a lot of, hypertensive moments. But ultimately, United got the 3rd game in a row in the Premier League after more or less, a very fantastic performance. So, guys, let's jump right into it. The 5 things we learned. I think first and foremost, it's now clear that United doesn't like to do things easy. We always like to make things difficult for ourselves. I think when it was 3-0 in that game, everything, life should be good, life should be calm. But, a mistake by, a mispass by Dogu and also an inexperienced tackle by Dogu on Minte made the game to have a different face. But ultimately, we're happy that we did the job. And we got the 3 points. So, guys, first thing I want to say is I like the way we started the game in terms of the intensity and in terms of our man-to-man marking. We mark the Brighton man-to-man starting from the defensive line, and which made Brighton in the first few minutes of the game, the first 10 minutes of the game, to try to play it long. And one of the benefits of that is that when they played it long, we had that numerical superiority at the back because we are using 3 at the back. And I felt that was really, really good to see. We allowed them to play it long. And even when they played it long, they didn't really have any good moments by playing it long. So it was good for us to press them and receive back possession, in our own half. So I felt that was good. Other things I saw is that I think we are beginning to see the benefit of using 3 at the back, 3 center backs at the back. Because one of the things I said earlier is the fact that they played it long and we already had numerical superiority at the back. Another thing was in that game, I think particularly Welbeck, in certain moments, especially in the first half, will try to drag Matthias De Ligt out of his position. So De Ligt, sometimes you see De Ligt in the midfield. Sometimes you don't see De Ligt in the attacking third of our play. In terms, he has gone so far. And when De Ligt is being dragged out of position and De Ligt follows, you see the likes of our defensive shape still remains a 4. So imagine if we're using maybe a 4-3-3, for example. If the lead has been pulled out of shape, we more or less will be having like a 3, or a midfielder would not have to, come back. But the lead had the liberty to leave his position, to follow the run of Welbeck, and our defensive shape was still intact. And I felt that was one of the benefits of using a back 3. And I think, so it was really, really nice. I think our defensive shape was really nice in the first half, and we just frustrated the efforts of Brighton. And Brighton, as you guys have seen, is a very, 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 very intense team. Very, very intense team. Another thing again I saw on the pressing side was, first of all, how high Bruno Fernandes was asked to leave his position to press. Even Casemiro, out the midfield, was very high in the press. I think it was a risky game plan for Ruben Amorim, and I think it shows that the manager actually is flexible. People that have been saying it's not flexible, I think now you can see it's flexible, because when I saw the game plan, like the way in which Bruno is high up, the way in which Casemiro is high up, even though I know Bruno was more higher than Casemiro in the press. Sometimes at one point you see Bruno even be the one to run and spearhead the press. I was like, this is risky, but it actually worked. I know many of us were like, even me, I said that maybe they should go for a mid block. But the fact is, they went for a high press, and actually it worked because it made Brighton make a lot of mistakes. I think fantastic tactical approach by Ruben Amorim. I think he exposed, a particular weakness that although Brighton is a good team on the ball, although they have fast players, but if you press them hard, they will make mistakes. They are still a young team and they will make mistakes. And I saw that we had those moments that we had to now capitalize on the mistakes. A lot of moments where Brighton made mispasses, and I think it was very good to see. Now, I think another thing about it is the second thing I want to say after the defensive structure is the fact that, Bryan Mbeumo. Now I don't have any other thing to say about Bryan Mbeumo because I've been grieving about Bryan Mbeumo. But what I want to say about Bryan Mbeumo is Mr. Premier League. There was an episode I did where I said Mbeumo would be one of the most consequential players that we bought this summer. And I think it's beginning to show it. That guy was made for the Premier League. The Premier League was made for Mbeumo. And I think you can see today, 2 goals in today's game, two very important goals into this game. And you can also see the number of chances, I think few chances he got that could have even doubled or even gotten an hat-trick if those goals are both have entered. And also he has gotten 3 goals in the last 2 games. Mr. Premier League. Nothing again. I think it's quite clear. I'm really, really excited to see a player that is humble, a player that runs for the team. Even when he's tired, he runs. A player that, this control of Mbeumo is super. The intensity of Mbeumo is there. It's just amazing to see. Amazing to see. The third thing I would say, first of all, is the subs were not helpful in the second half. I think it's quite clear. The subs were not helpful. I felt that the 2 goals Brighton got, you can attribute the first goal by mistake from Dogu, which I said earlier. And also you can attribute the second goal of Brighton to Zexi slipping on the corner kick. Yeah, I don't want to blame them, but this shouldn't happen. Imagine if it was 2-0, we were leading and became a 2-2. So they have to walk it up. They have to wake up. Yes, I understand that many of these guys have not played for a number of games and maybe the sharpness is not there, but do yourself, be mentally sharp. And I feel most of the things that happened was not maybe because of the physique. They were not mentally sharp. And I think they have to work on it. I think the manager will show them clips. You should have just put pressure. For example, Zexi should have put pressure on the guy that went out. Put pressure on the guy. Dogu, you don't need to touch the guy. The guy has already pushed the ball towards Lamens. You don't need to touch the guy. It's a very inexperienced and babyish kind of foul. And that gave Brighton are like wolves. You give them a little blood and they come for you. And I think Dogu made us suffer in the last few minutes because of that babyish and inexperienced foul. I think it wasn't really good to see. So I think, let me also talk about the confidence. That's the fourth thing I would say. The confidence was there, bros. The confidence was there. The confidence, the swagger. And I think that is what you want to see. The mentality. I've said it many times, and you guys will also know that many times it's not about the formation. Many times it's about the mentality of the players playing the formation. You can see they scored us, but we scored back. 2 games now. Liverpool scored, we scored back. Now Brighton scored us 2 goals successively, in successions, and we came back. That mentality. See the first half. See the way Ahmad, Mbeumo, the swagger. See the way Kuma was having the swagger. See the way Bruno was turning and twisting. And very good defensive work for Bruno Fernandes today. Very, very fantastic defensive work from him. Amazing. The work rates. Amazing. The intensity. Because this game, if you cannot match Brighton's intensity, you will lose the game. It's quite clear. That intensity was terrible. Crazy levels of intensity. Brighton is a team I don't want to face. I'm happy that the next time we will face them in the Premier League is the last game of the season. Man, I do not want to face this team again. Terrible team in terms of intensity. You have to run. I think we said that in the preview, but we have to remind ourselves, you have to run. It's massive. Crazy, man. So I think the last thing I'll say is the fact that, the referee, Anthony Taylor, I'm tired of coming to repeat myself many times on Anthony Taylor. If this is the best England has to offer in terms of refereeing, then there is a big problem. If this is the best England has to offer in terms of being a referee, I think there's a big problem. Shambolic. I think the only man that came into this game neutral, that will leave this game unhappy because of the result, is Anthony Taylor. You could see the terrible refereeing in the first half. Foul on Ahmad, clear penalty, foul on Mbeumo, and not blowing. But I'm happy that we are beginning to understand that we are against the world. We are against the media is against us. Fans of other clubs are against us. Even legends of this club are against us. And now we know that the referees are against us. But nevertheless, we can be hated. We can be, we can be ignored. We can be hated. We can be adored, but we can never be ignored. This team is amazing. Amazing. And I think there are good signs for the future. So take the 3 points. Don't relax. Rest. Train. And go for the next one. Until I see you next time, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. This is the 5 things we learned from the Brighton versus Manchester United. Manchester United 4, Brighton over Albion 2. Guys, let me have your comments on the game. What did you think about this match? Please drop it in the comment section. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And most importantly, don't forget to share. Thank you very much. Until I see you next time. Bye.